Hey everybody, happy holidays. Christmas tree. Today I'm talking about why I thought editing and PR jobs were gonna go away. So a year ago, I was like, these job segments in my industry, the kind of the content and content adjacent industries, those two job categories are going to be immediately the hardest hit by AI because those are the tasks AI can do very, very well. And I thought that those careers were doomed. The people working in those jobs needed to find something else to do. And when I demonstrated Claude's capabilities a year ago, and they've improved since then, the editors I showed them to were also horrified about what AI could do. You can upload an entire book, an unpublished book, and it would tell you what the plot holes were, which is like an insane thing. This is like original analysis of a full book-length manuscript, and it would tell you what the plot holes are. It would explain, well, this character's motivation doesn't match, the plot, the theme of the plot over here, right? The kind of stuff that a human would spend like weeks trying to figure out and have to reread the book multiple times to see. And the AI would spit back an answer in seconds. So terrifying, right? And of course, for PR, AI could write a press release very, very easily. I posted a video about how to use AI to write press releases. And obviously, it can tailor pitches to journalists. It can do these massive campaigns at scale for very, very low cost. And writers are would be the people hiring editors or publishing companies. They're always short of money. And companies looking to hire marketing people are always looking to cut money there too. So clearly, these two jobs are doomed. Doomed, doomed, I tell you. And I told a lot of people that they were doomed. And I figured if I was going to feel bad about my career disappearing, everyone else should feel bad about their career too. I'm really, really sorry. I am so sorry. I was so wrong. And the day I realized that I was so wrong about PR is when I got an email from a high profile expert answering a question about a story I was working on for a day job. And the entire answer was clearly AI generated because it included reference to a research report that just came out by a reputable cybersecurity company, published on their website under their a VP's name, that had all sorts of useful, perfect statistics in it. And that whole article was AI generated. So there were like multiple layers of AI generated slop coming at me. And at the same time, I got a pitch from a freelance writer that linked to her LinkedIn profile. The LinkedIn profile was fantastic. She worked for like big name publications. In fact, she was at staff on one. And the only thing that caught my attention that this wasn't the person herself was because A, if she's on staff for a big publication, why would she be pitching stories to this small blog I edit that paid like hardly anything at all? Like, why would she be doing that? And also, she had her Gmail address, and let's say her name was Jane Schmo, and the Gmail address was something like Jane Schmo 78576 at gmail.com. And that was like, that doesn't sound right. And it wasn't. This was completely AI generated. And when I researched that email further, it became really, really clear. Um, and I started getting a lot of pitches for stories. And sometimes I would follow up with them and I'd spend a few minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour trying to track down the information, like look at the company's website, follow the links. And at first glance, everything would look perfect. The pitch would be perfect. The company's website would be perfect. And then when I went to follow the links to say the social media profile they had, it was only a week old. Or the blog posts that they had on their website would go back only a week or something like so some like little things like that that I would only find out after spending a lot of time researching this company. And so I started to having a policy that, first of all, I'm not going to quote anybody unless I know them personally. And better yet, unless I have a Zoom interview with them that is set up by a trusted PR company or a trusted company I know. So you don't have to hire a PR person to be interviewed by me, but you really should have quite a few people in common with me. So I should know a lot of people in the industry in my LinkedIn who we have in common. And if we don't have a lot of people in common, that's probably a sign that you're not a credible person. Because if we don't have any people in common, I've been covering cybersecurity uh, and data and all the things that I write about, enterprise technology, things that I write about for over 20 years. If we don't have a lot of people in common, that's a really, really red, red flag. And if you're a real company, like a real startup, and that has decent funding and you have customers, you probably have enough money to hire a PR company. Some PR companies work with startups and have low prices and do a good job of getting startups in front of journalists. So there's really no reason for a credible company not to be represented by a PR company I know. And I pretty much know all the PR companies because, again, I've been in this business for 20 years. So the value of a PR person vetting the interviews that I do, vetting the information that I get, has actually increased, not decreased, as a result of AI. So, yes, a PR person can more easily generate a pitch that's tailored to me. So, I expect all PR people I deal with to become significantly better at their jobs. I expect them to follow up on all my, requests for information. I expect them to send pitches to me that are on target. I expect them to recommend sources for me that I can actually use. So I expect them to be better at their jobs because they're probably using AI to help them in their jobs. But also, I want there to be a human behind it to take responsibility if something goes wrong. If a person that they're setting me up with turns out to be like a chatbot and not a real human being, or a spammer, or some kind of fake company, the PR company is on the line for that. They should take responsibility and they should make sure that that doesn't happen. And an AI cannot take responsibility. They're just a computer program. You need a person who can take responsibility and be accountable and have a reputation at stake. ChatGPT doesn't have a reputation at stake if it sends me a fake, pitch. Or a hacker certainly doesn't have a reputation at stake because they're a hacker. But a PR person with a career on the line has a reputation at stake. They can get fired. ChatGPT doesn't care if it's going to get fired because it's it doesn't have kids to support, right? So very, very dramatic improvement in how I see PR people. So I used to see PR people as a necessary evil. They are the gatekeepers to getting interviews with CEOs of big companies. I have to go through them because they tell the CEO, yes, Maria's a real journalist. Yes, she will ask reasonable questions and she won't misquote you in print. So a PR person would do that kind of vetting of me so that the CEO doesn't have to, because the CEO has like their CEO job to do, right? So the PR person is doing all that vetting. They will now be able to do that vetting faster, but they will do that vetting. And if there's a mistake, if the AI makes a mistake, the AI is not responsible for that mistake. It's the PR person who's responsible for that mistake because they should be vetting whatever answers the AI comes up with. So the CEO has somebody to blame if something goes wrong. If the CEO just asks AI for the answer and something goes wrong, the CEO only has themselves to blame. And who wants to blame themselves, right? You want to have someone else to take the blame and figure out how to write the prompt and figure out how to vet the answers and figure out which AI is best at answering particular questions. So there's a reason for PR people to exist, both for the companies that hire them and for me as a journalist who has to work with them. They will follow up on questions that I have that the person I'm interviewing doesn't know the answers to off the top of my head. Like, how much exactly did you do in sales in the fourth quarter of last year in this particular subcategory? And guys like, or the person's like, I have no idea. Oh, can you, Mr. PR person, can you please look that up and follow up with me? And they're like, yeah, sure, Maria, I'll take care of that. So they play useful roles on the calls. Um, and yeah, I don't really like having PR people listening in on every phone call. But in my experience, professional PR people do not intervene in a conversation. They do not jump in and say, "Oh no, Mrs. CEO, don't answer that question. You don't have to answer that." I've I've I don't think I remember a PR person ever saying that. They do prep the executive before the call, I assume. Like these are the kind of questions you're likely to be asked. Here's the little marketing spiel you should like get into. If you get a question you don't like, just like veer off to one of your canned things that you want to say, or however they prep them, right? Um, I don't usually have them interfere in the conversations. They just take notes and follow up with requests for information, which is fine. So that's kind of why in the past I thought they were like a necessary evil. And now I'm kind of leaning towards actually they're kind of a necessary good because they do ensure that the experts they're bringing to me and the companies they're bringing to me are real companies and real experts. So at some point in the future, AI might be able to do that, but we get an AI arms race because the bad guys are also going to be using AI to make themselves look better, right? So this is where a human to human kind of connection gives you a source of ground truth. These are people vouching for other people. And that is critically important. I think that is a fantastic reason for the continued existence of PR people. Again, they're going to have to step up how they do their job. They will be doing their jobs differently. A lot of things will change in how they work. But fundamentally, that human to human component, that element of trust, that is going to be key to their profession going forward, at least from my end as a journalist watching all this happen. So I no longer read emails from people I don't recognize. I no longer read emails from companies I don't know. I will not take a pitch from a startup PR company that I've never heard of unless the person working there is somebody who came over from a different PR company and I already know them from a previous job. I will not take a LinkedIn request from somebody, even if they sound perfect. Oh, I'm the CEO of this company in your space, and I'm willing to talk to you and give you exclusive interviews if you just connect with me on LinkedIn. Like a year ago, I would have said, "Oh my God, the CEO of this company is like interested in talking to me," and now I'm like, "Yeah, we don't have any people in common. Are you sure you're a CEO of a real company?" You know. Um, so yeah, so the question of trust, the question of connection, all of that becomes super important in the age of AI because all the indicators the technical indicators, the spelling, the grammar, how the website looks, all of that AI can do. The AI can do the technical job of creating press releases, creating websites, pitching journalists. But the AI cannot do the human connection part of the job because it's not human. And that's kind of my theme for my whole channel. There's stuff that AI cannot do, not because it's not technically capable of it, although it is technically incapable of doing some things right now, but it might get better in the future. It will improve its accuracy, it'll improve its writing style, blah blah blah. All that stuff will improve technically. Technically, it will improve, but it will always be AI. It will never be human until it gains sentience, and then we've got a totally different conversation. But while it is still an AI and not human, that is a huge advantage of everybody working in the content creation profession and affiliated professions. So, journalists, PR people, editors, writers, illustrators, whoever, where the job has a human component, it has a component where we need trust, where we need accountability, where we need responsibility, where we need a human connection, where we need social proof and social value, where we need psychological support. All of these human things that we can only get from other humans, that is where we should be leaning into as people who are in the creative professions. The same thing goes if you're an editor. So a year ago, like I said, I was demonstrating editing capabilities of Claude or ChatGPT or whoever. Those capabilities have improved over the course of the last year. It is now insanely good, scarily good. So, is this going to eliminate the editing profession? No, because AI cannot hold you accountable. AI supports you in whatever you do. If you want it to find plot holes in your book, it will find you an infinite number of plot holes in your book. Whatever it is you want the AI to do, AI will do. AI will never judge you. AI will always take your side. If you're late with a manuscript, the AI will always understand your excuses, right? Uh, it's kind of like a sim character or some kind of video game character who's always there when you come back to the game. And if the character isn't there when you come back to the game, you really don't care because it's just an in-game character. Eventually, we all let our Tamagotchi pets die. Eventually, we all like abandon our Sims and our Farmville animals, and like we don't really care what happens to them because they're not real. I don't care about my Duolingo owl complaining to me that I haven't studied my Spanish because it's a computer. It doesn't actually care. It's not feeling personally betrayed by me that I'm not following up with my, promised lesson plan. But I have a standing appointment at 7 a.m. every single morning with a writing partner. We get on Zoom and we write or edit our books. And that works, unlike, say, ChatGPT, because if I have a standing appointment with ChatGPT and I miss that appointment, ChatGPT isn't going to care. But my writing partner will care because she woke up early to be on this Zoom call and I'm not there. I am letting her down. And that matters. And if she's not there for me, she's letting me down. Because the only way I can work is I have somebody staring there at me going, are you done yet? Are you working? Are you busy? Are you moving ahead on what you're planning to write today? Or are you getting sidetracked? I need that because that's how my brain works. I need to have that body doubling. I need to have a human who cares about what I write. I'm a journalist, I write on deadline. If my editor moves my deadline, my brain like literally turns off. Oh, I have another week to write the story. Gee, that story is like off my plate. I don't have to worry about it. As opposed to, oh, good, I've already gotten a head start. I'll quickly finish it up and I'll be ahead. No, my brain does not think that way. My brain is stupid. My brain's like, oh, great, I can binge watch that TV show I've always been meaning to binge watch. So yeah, it's a dumb brain. Um, if I have a human waiting for something, I will jump through any amount of hoops to get it done because that's how I'm wired. And a lot of people are wired that way. So I want to talk, I was going to give you four surprising reasons why the uh, the editing and PR jobs and marketing jobs aren't going to go away. So the first one is practical. AI is too good. AI is too good at finding plot holes in your book. AI is too good at generating websites and pitches and everything else. And when an AI can generate a million things for you to fix in your book, you will never finish your book. You need to know, like, is it okay to skip these things? And if you ask AI to tell you it's okay to skip these things, AI will tell you that it's okay to skip these things. And if you ask AI why you should do these things, AI will tell you that you should do these things because AI is just reflecting back whatever it is you want. A human doesn't. A human makes you accountable. A human editor will say, you can do this, you don't have to do this. And I'm going to hold you to it. And a human can hold your hand, or metaphorically hold your hand. An AI can't because it's not a human. So, a surprising economic reason why these jobs are not going to go away is because we have a fixed amount of money we want to spend on something. And we humans like to spend our money. I mean, we will save some money because we're savers. We don't save more money when things get cheaper. We just spend it on other stuff. So if there's a 50% off sale at the supermarket, I'll just buy twice as much stuff, right? Because I'm like, oh, I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to spend like whatever money. Um, and I have to have savings come out of my account automatically, so that I don't spend the money because I will spend the rest of the money. We do that. Companies do the same thing. They have a certain budget that they need to spend for things. And sometimes they will decrease a budget or increase it as that department becomes more or less of a priority. But there's competitive pressure not to lower the budget if this department is in fact a priority because our competitors are not lowering their budget. So for example, there are author surveys out there that show that the average author making a certain amount of money a year is going to spend a certain amount of money on editing. And if the AI makes the editing cheaper and editing becomes free or 20 bucks a month, which is very little compared to human editing, my competition is going to still be spending that amount that they're spending because they still have that money. That's what they've been spending all along. And so instead of spending it on the core basic editing that the AI can do, they will now spend it on the stuff that only the human can do. The thing that involves judgment and value and personal connections to publishers or hand holding and motivation and cheerleading, whatever stuff that only the human can do, the writers who spend money on it will get that value from the human side of the equation that I'm not getting if I'm not spending that money. So if my competitors are spending that money, and I've spent that money in the past and I have that money to spend, there's a good chance I'm still going to spend that money. And If AI makes me more productive and helps me write more books for those writers who use AI to help them write books, then I will have more money to spend on editing and marketing and all these other things. Same thing for PR. A company that uses a good PR firm with reputable PR people that have great connections in the industry and know all the journalists and can get you in front of the people writing the best stories, that PR company is going to be valuable. And it's going to be worth it to spend money on that PR company because your competitors are going to spend that money if you don't. And because that human vetting becomes that much more important in the age of AI makes the basics stuff the same for everybody. It's like lifting the floor on everybody. And so you can't dismiss your competition because they have lousy websites or bad PR emails because now everybody has that as the basis. So if everybody's using AI to set up their website and all websites look perfect, then what's going to differentiate you? What's going to differentiate you is the fact that you have on your website big name people talking nice things about your company. And in order to get those big name people to say nice things about your company, you're going to need those relationships with those people. You're going to need to somehow connect to those people and get them to say nice things about your company. And that's not something that, I mean, AI can generate. Well, AI can generate it, but then those people will complain and get your website taken down. And so it's not a sustainable plan for the future to make up customer testimonials from famous people. They get upset. And they have teams of lawyers who now use AI to make themselves more efficient, and they're getting better at tracking down those websites and shutting it down. So if you're planning to build a business, not a good way to go. Okay, I've talked about the psychological reason. We don't care what AI thinks. It doesn't matter how much an AI sounds like a person, because unless we have some kind of psychological issue, we know it's not a person. Because when we turn it off and turn it back on again, the AI is always happy to see us. Whereas a person would say, "Oh my God, did you just hang up on me? What's wrong with you?" So it's very easy to tell that it's not a real person because it doesn't care when we go away. It doesn't care what we do. And so psychologically, we know it doesn't care, so we don't care about it. And finally, there's a biological reason why we care about what other people think and we don't care what AI thinks. And that is that we evolved to be social creatures. Putting somebody in solitary confinement is torture. It's the worst thing you can do to a person. People would rather be out there with mass murderers in general population than be stuck in solitary confinement and perfectly safe. Because even being around mass murderers is preferable to being all alone because we're hardwired to be with a group of people. We are hardwired to care about those people. We are hardwired to want those people to care about us. One of the punishments that groups used to impose on people who misbehaved is something called exposure, where they would take you out in the woods or the desert or whatever and just leave you there. And you would die. Because nature is a horrible thing that hates us. And I have no idea how we were able to evolve on this planet where everything wants to eat us, most of the plants are poisonous, and if we look up at the sky, our eyeballs will get burned out. Yeah, we survive because of support from other people. Our children survive because of support from other people. And we are biologically hardwired to want to support other people so they will support us back. It is like a core fundamental thing built into our biology. Now, I guess we can like edit it out of our genes or something with CRISPR, but personally, I would not want to. I would not want to become a sociopathic person who doesn't care about what other people think. I like being part of the human family and community. And it's a survival advantage. It is a survival advantage, and it's an advantage in terms of what you're able to accomplish in your life. If you only do things by yourself, there's only a limited amount of stuff that you can accomplish. But if you have human civilization behind you, you can do so much more. It benefits us in so many ways to be part of humanity as a whole. We don't want to give that up. It's hardwired into us. And you cannot replace that aspect of our being with a computer program. We can ameliorate loneliness a little bit. We can answer people's questions. We can help them do routine tasks. Um, but we cannot fundamentally make them feel that other people care about them unless there are actual other people caring about them. And we can tell the difference. So that's it for me today. I'm going to be talking a lot more about this in the future because this is a topic that I care very much about because it hits home in so many ways. And this is also something that I write about at my day job. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. And if I don't see you, have a happy holiday season and a happy new year and happy winter solstice and all the other happinesses of the winter season. Thanks, everybody. Love you guys. Bye bye.